Welcome back to Spotlight. We are here this evening doing the final exam for the English, the speech communication class, English 106B, H. Laverty South Community College. Mrs. Zoe Walcott McMillan, lecturer, and we changed into our second group, and we are going to have a discussion about whether we should have a national lottery or not. And with me, very special guest, Miss Shanice Letsom.
Good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Addy Jabray.
Good night.
Mr. Shane Liburd.
Good evening.
And Mr. Nathan Hodge.
Evening.
Mr. Jabray and Ms. Letsom are for a national lottery. Yes?
Yep.
And Mr. Liburd and Mr. Hodge are against.
That's right.
And I want to hear from Miss Ladies first, from Miss Letsom, and then Mr. Jabray, as to why they think we should have a national lottery. What are the benefits of the national lottery?
Okay, good night. Again, my name is Shanice Letsom. I believe that a national lottery should be introduced in the British Virgin Islands because it is good for the revenue of the government. Currently, the BVI is in a 65 million deficit, and I think if we introduce the national lottery, that will help to boost the economic deficit that we're currently in. I believe that it will do that. For instance, a good example would be where it could help finance. There are good causes it can finance. It can finance the health sectors, education, and other social different groups. There's a lot of things it can help to finance. So I think if we introduce national lotteries, it would be good for the British Virgin Islands.
Okay. And why do you think it would be good, Mr. Jabray?
Well, as some of us may already know, there's already people here selling lottery tickets, and there's a lot more people buying these tickets illegally. And all that money is leaving the country straight away. There's no benefit from here. The country is not benefiting from it in any way, shape, or form. I spoke to some ticket vendors the other day, and they all estimated that there are literally hundreds of thousands of dollars every month being spent on the national lottery. And all that money is going where? Is going somewhere else, whether it's the Puerto Rico lottery, St. Thomas, Santo Domingo. All that money is leaving the country straight away. That's why we're arguing that it's not a bad idea to have a lottery here. The lottery, first of all, is good for the economy as it creates numerous amounts of jobs for the people here. We're not talking about ticket sellers alone. We're talking about a whole new industry here. And also, the small shops who are struggling to stay open, the mere fact that they have tickets to sell will help the shops stay in business, and it will ensure that they keep providing us with the goods and services that they provide. Also, the second point is, like Shanice said, it's a very good revenue for the country. As we know, it can help the transportation, it can help public health, new roads, like Iman just said. Yeah.
Okay.
In the United States, for example, 42 states have their own national lotteries, and all of that money is going into separate projects to help improve the state. That's what I think it should be good.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jabray. Mr. Liburd.
Yes, sir.
I know your mother won't want you to have support the lotto.
Me and you both.
Why are you against the lotto? It's a lot of, Ms. Letsom and Mr. Jabray, some pretty strong arguments there.
Well, I don't think that the British Virgin Islands should have a national lottery because, as we all know, we have heard the phrase that the British Virgin Islands is a Christian-based territory. We're God-fearing. And it would be morally wrong to have a national lottery here because in the Bible, it tells us about attempts to get rich quick. It warns us about that, and it also talks about the love of money. And also, I don't think that it would be a smart thing to do because basically what you're doing is the amount of money that you're going to win is basically the amount of money that you put into the lottery buying the tickets. That's all the money that is being collected by the people that is paying for these tickets. and the money, all of it, doesn't come to you. There's a certain percentage that goes towards the government. So instead, if one has to take the amount of money that they put into buying these tickets and put it in a savings account, the winnings would be greater than actually paying a ticket to win the lottery. That's why I think we shouldn't have it in the BVI.
Okay. Mr. Hodge,
Yes.
what you got to say for yourself?
Well, my points would be that the odds of winning are very high.
I'll say it again, sorry.
I was saying that the odds of winning would have been very high. And we know that in the VI lottery, to win the Powerball, the jackpot for the Virgin Islands lottery, the odds to win are 1 to 195 million, which is a very high chance of you losing. Also that...
So the odds are against you win?
Yeah, most likely. And that also that it will be raised crime, as you know that when you win, your name is publicly announced. So instead of just in the BVI where there's random...
When you say increased crime, you say?
It would affect the crime or made you tag it.
Okay.
So instead of how instead of whereas you would have been a random robbery or someone burglarized your house, you would have like someone watching you, observing you, or basically setting up a plan to target you and take what you have or what you want. My other point would be in that instead of starting the lottery, you should take that money and invest in repairing the infrastructure of the BVI. And other than that, I state that we should not have a national lottery in the BVI as yet.
Okay. Let's see. No. Mr. Well, let me start with you, Miss Letson. This is a Christian society. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. Gambling is against the laws of God. Aren't you a Christian? I mean, don't you think that you know, you're defying God, that you want to bring down the wrath of God on the territory?
Okay, first of all, it's not a mandatory thing. You could do it by choice. You don't have to do it. So if you know it's morally wrong for yourself, you shouldn't enter the lottery. And as we see, the BVI is now culturally diverse, and yeah, so if you know it's against your culture, you would not enter the lottery. That's why it's not mandatory. It's not a requirement for you to enter the lottery.
What's your take on the whole Christian thing?
Like she said, you cannot assume that everybody is religious and is Christian. There's some people who are not religious, and you cannot really punish them the same way you're doing it for the other Christians. People simply are not Christians. Some of them are not religious.
Mr. Label, everybody are not Christians. You can't impose a religion on the population, and we have choices. They have choices. What's your response to that?
Yes, they do have choices, but I think that they shouldn't, even if they choose to play the lottery, I think that they should sit and think about it for a while. Because even if you do not have a religious background or whatever, you still have to think about where is this money coming from and what is it going towards, just this one person. And let's say if you are the winner, what will you do with the money? There's a lot of people that go crazy after they win the lottery. I know of this one man that won, and he became paranoid, and he actually killed himself after he won the lottery. Well, even though it's not as addicting as gambling or the casino, it is quite addicting. And if you continue to repeatedly play the lottery, week after week and after week, you will lose a lump sum of money. A lot of money will be lost to the person who repeatedly plays the lottery.
Even though it's not an addiction, you could become hooked on
It's not nearly
this constant desire that is being kindled in the gambling to win and this is going to make you want to do it more and more and more and more. And
it's not nearly as addictive as gambling in a casino, because when you're buying a lottery ticket, you know going into it that the chance of winning is extremely, extremely, extremely small. They're doing it they're doing it for fun, for entertainment, and they know that the chance of winning is extremely small. So knowing that, you cannot get hooked as easy as going to a casino where the chance of winning is high. So you keep saying, okay, I'm going to win next time, okay, I'm going to win next time, and then you blow all your money. Also, having a lottery also should be regulated. You cannot just have a lottery and have people go blow all their paychecks on it. We're supposed to regulate it as well.
How are you gonna know how people are spending their money, whether they're blowing their paychecks or not? How you plan to regulate that, and how would you be able to monitor that situation?
You cannot regulate how they spend their paychecks. They can spend it whatever way they want.
How would you be able to monitor though? How much money they spend on the lottery? How much money they spend on the lottery?
Well, you control the tickets on the market.
That sounds like a broad statement to me. I still don't learn anything from it.
Okay, you control how much tickets are being on the market, and certain. If you want, for example, if you don't want a lot of people to blow their money on the tickets, you just don't put out a lot of tickets for people to buy. That's the way I would think about it.
But wouldn't that be limiting the amount of money that you could make to do the projects that you talked about?
It would be, yeah. But then it would still be better than nothing.
You could take that money, Mr. Liebert and Mr. Hodge, you could take that money from the lotto. Many states use it for education. You could build infrastructure. You could help according to Ms. Letsom, help with social services, those persons who need help with their children, single parent families and children who need to get education, and if we have a voucher system, we have to give some of them poor people money to pay for the higher costs of the private schools. All that stuff would come from the lottery, and everybody's not a Christian, and don't you think that there's a tremendous benefit from having a lottery?
Yes, I do.
Yes, but I was thinking that right now would not be the time to have a national lottery. It would be like another 10 years in a running. Let's take care of the problems that we have first before instrumenting national lottery in the BVI.
National lottery will help. It will help to solve the problems that we're talking about here. He said that we're in a deficit. Having a national lottery, which is not really that expensive to start up and begin, it would be a good factor in helping the deficit. Like he mentioned, there is a deficit.
Mr. Liebert?
Well, the amount of money that is being sent towards the government from the national lottery, I don't think that it will be a sufficient amount to do all that you have stated before with the vouchers and the school systems and what's not. So I say it still doesn't make any sense.
There's already several $100,000s every month here going away, and that's with the illegal lottery. Most people don't take part of it. Imagine if we have the very own BVI lottery here. Much more people will take part of it and make more money.
You want to add to that? You agree?
I'm agreeing with him.
Okay. I think Mr. Liebert alluded to a social problem, and of course that you try to rebut. But I want to talk a little bit more about that. The whole event of being able to go to a place, pay $1 for a ticket, $10 for a ticket, $15 for a ticket, with the thought in your mind, because this happens to me. I mean, I think about it, I'm just saying, wow, man, $100 million grand prize, $500,000 grand prize, and all I got to do is spend $10, and I got a chance. I mean, however great the odds are, I have a chance of getting that $500,000. And yeah, I got my baby needs some Pampers. My baby needs some Pampers, but this, I could, if we hit it, we could buy a lot of Pampers. You know what I'm saying? If we hit it, we could buy a lot of Pampers. That sounds like a social problem to me. Don't you think that we're going to be encouraging, particularly men, to go out and spend money on lotto, which is gambling, and neglect the needs, the basic needs of families. Is that going to create a social problem?
Well, the percentage of gamblers who abuse it and get addicted to it is very small, as opposed to the major percentage that do it as a form of entertainment, where they know their limits and they just go there for entertainment. So taking it away from the people who know their limits and are mature enough to not get hooked on it is not fair.
Is that true, guys? Mr. Liebert and Mr.
I
Hodge?
don't think so. How would you know when you're addicted to something?
Gambling per se?
Yeah, how would you know when you're addicted to something?
I mean, when you're addicted to gambling, you tend to spend more money on gambling than you would for something else that you need.
I had a great grandfather who was faithful to the lottery tickets, of the buying of the lottery tickets, and he died 83 years old and never won. And he was faithful, and up to now he didn't know that he was somewhat addicted to buying the lottery tickets. So that's my question tonight. How would you know when you're addicted? Because if I'm addicted to something, I wouldn't come out and admit, okay, I'm addicted to so and so. So how do you know when you're addicted?
Was your grandfather using the money he spends
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather, sorry. Was he using that money to spend on tickets rather than doing it for something that he needs or provides for his family?
Well, he wasn't a poor man, so I would assume that he was providing for his family. Yeah.
Okay, then that's not a problem.
It wasn't a problem?
No.
So you don't call it an addiction?
Not a harmful one, no.
Well, I do. To be spending that amount of money on a lottery every week.
If you can afford it, it's not a harmful addiction. As long as it's not taken away from his family, it's not a harmful addiction.
So you said that once you have the money, you can't. It's good.
Depends on how much money you have. You have certain limits. Yeah.
We're gonna take a break. we gotta take a break because it looked like you're gonna get ready to get the boxing gloves.
No gloves.
So we're gonna take a break for one from our sponsors, and we're gonna come back with more spotlight and more of the Age Lavity South Community English Class 106B Speech Communications right after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Tortola Concrete Limited, Gilbert's Painting Contractors, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight, yes, right here on JTV Live. Eduenka, and we are talking with Mr. Hodge over there, Mr. Nathan Hodge, Mr. Shane Liebert, Mr. Addie Jabray, and Ms. Shanice Letzum, and they are Mr. Hodge and Mr. Liebert is against having a national lottery, and Ms. Letzum and Mr. Jabray is for having a national lottery. Mr. Hodge or Mr. Liebert, Mr. Jabray and Ms. Letzum said that we losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every year in this month. Sorry, every month in the illegal lotto. You see all the ladies on the street with the big bag with all these lottery tickets in front of the bank. I mean, they strategically placed right in front of the bank. As you come out from the bank, cash in your check, you can go and you can get your lotto fix. Right? I know Mr. Jabray says it's not an addiction, but a lot of the psychologists will tell you different.
Well, it could be an addiction. Just the percentage of people who are addicted to it is very low.
Okay, well, you see, he's got where you get the statistics from?
I read it online. Basically,
have you done statistics in the BVI?
No.
Okay.
Talking about gambling on a whole here, not just lottery. Gambling.
I understand. Mr. Liebert, Mr. Hodge, all that money we losing going out to the country that could be staying here. I mean, isn't that a valid point that we could use those hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund something important, whether it's an education project or it's a social service? Don't you think that that's money we should seek to stop from leaking out to the country?
Well, yes, it is. But if we have a national lottery, what kind of prize are we affording to give out to the winners? There's a.
Just a minute, Mr. Jabray. Take it easy.
Even though that even though the lottery can generate funding, what sizable prize are we willing to give to the winners when they win the lottery?
Well, what sizable prize do you think can be given? That you think that the prize is not going to be good enough to attract people to?
Well, when I hear the name National Lottery, I'm thinking like hundreds of thousands for the jackpot. So with that money could be used for the infrastructure or repairing the roads, some sort of.
So the money that you're going to pay out, you could use that money to fix the infrastructure and do the same things that the lotto would have done. How you respond to
Only a
that?
small percentage goes to the winners. The rest goes, as I said earlier, go to good causes, like to the government for revenues and education and health and different sectors. So I wouldn't say that we're wasting the money when we could be using it on other stuff, because they're only getting a small percentage of it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, you were chopping at the bit there for a while, Mr. Jabri. What's your take on that?
If I can remember. Okay, what was you?
Well, Mr. Hodge is saying that how big a prize is and where you're gonna get that prize money.
Well,
and if you take that prize money and give it to a lotto winner, you could take that same prize money and give it to fix an infrastructure problem, as you mentioned.
But you wouldn't
before.
get the prize money for a lotto winner without having people buying tickets. You wouldn't get that money. So
how would it work? I mean, what would determine the size of the lotto?
The number of people buying tickets, of course.
So the jackpot would be different every year.
Yeah, I would think so.
Drawing.
But
I would think so.
Isn't the prize is what brings people to buy the tickets?
If they don't know what they're winning, how can we?
I guess they would estimate that.
You'd have an estimate.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna open up the phones. We have let me see. Let me check my clock here. Yes, we have about 10 minutes remaining. Just over 10 minutes.
I have something to say.
Yes, but you're gonna get something.
Okay.
You're not going.
Okay.
We are just letting the audience know if they want to weigh in on the lotto thing. So far, we haven't had any takers, but we said we want to let the audience know that we have 10 minutes where we allowing them to question the young people about their views on the National Lotto and to ask questions or to make comments, as you see fit. So the numbers are on the screen. You can call or you can text. Yes, Mr. Liebert.
Okay. My colleague here, Addy, and Ms. Shani said that people from the BVI go off island to purchase tickets for the lottery. Is that right?
No, the tickets coming from other lotteries here. They bring them here.
They bring them here. Do you know that it's illegal to sell lottery tickets here?
It is illegal, yeah.
Yes. So
that's why we're arguing, make it legal, make it official.
And I have heard that there are BVI landlords that actually go away and buy lottery tickets.
Yeah,
so
that's good for them.
Let me get this straight. You pay money for the ticket to travel and then pay for your lottery ticket with this slim chance of winning and then to come back home for you've heard of people who actually leave the territory
specifically to buy tickets.
Yes, and come back.
I don't know.
What do you think they gain from this?
You have to ask them, not me.
Okay. I will.
So you think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you want to do.
Yeah,
to buy a ticket. If
they can afford to fly and buy a ticket, fine.
If the winning is going to be worth it.
If they think the winning is going to be worth it.
That's
Would you encourage it, Brother Eddie?
I'm encouraging a national lottery here, yeah.
No, would you encourage someone to go away and purchase a ticket?
If I have the money, yeah.
Okay. I got a text. It says that's all speculation. So I guess the texter, would you please text us back and tell us what you think the speculation is, so we could really get a sense of what you're talking about, to see if we can get the young people to respond to what you think the speculation is. Yeah. Now, the social issues that is going to come out of the lotto, as Mr. Hodge pointed out, the increase in crime with persons targeting winners, 1, 2, stealing perhaps the want to buy a lottery ticket, persons who feel that there's a big lotto coming up and they can't afford to buy a ticket, so they might want to tax some money to buy a ticket. Hold on a moment, please. You'll be spotlight. You don't think that what's your view on the increase in crime that the lotto might create? Don't answer that just a second, but remember that question. We're gonna take this call. Thank you very much for calling Spotlight. Go right ahead, please.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to support the guys who think that having a national lottery is a good thing. I want to support that. I want to support that because of major economic benefits. Major. There are thousands of dollars being sent out of this country every week because of lottery. That is enough.
Okay. Thank you very much for that call.
Precisely.
And of course, you agree with that.
Yeah.
I got a text. What other method of earning revenue can you think of that is based on citizens' contribution that will benefit the government? That sounds like a good question for the opposition. Mm-hmm. Can you think of other ways that the government could raise money for these infrastructural development and for education, as Ms. Letsom and Mr. Jabri is using a lot for, that would prevent us from going down that road of what you're calling gambling and anti-Christian?
Well, we already have a few going on, but what can be more elaborated, I guess, on is consorts, like such as the one we have in King Gadimbe, the Music Fest, yes, concerts like those where you bring in stars from the States or whatever to come down and whether sing or act or whatever. We can also have, my friend,
What I was thinking is that every summer when there's village, they will have the rides that you could go on, but they only here for like couple of days. What my idea would be is just to have like a theme pack where it would be like throughout the year. We could just, if you want to go, we just come and have fun.
So have Coney Island all year round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, there are ways to get revenue, but the more ways, the better.
Okay. And then, of course, the lotto is one of those ways.
It's a new way, yeah.
The crime, the question I asked you about the crime.
And about them being targeted.
Well, yeah, the increase in crime that would be generated from the desire to want to play lotto, especially if there's a high prize, and, of course, being targeted if you're a winner. Somebody might want to rob you or, shoot you for the money or some such thing, and you look like you're not supposed to answer that question because I got another phone call. Thank you for calling Spotlight. Go right ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Juanka.
Yes,
good night, gentlemen.
Good night, my brother.
Good night.
Okay, I feel in lottery.
You have to turn your television down, my brother, please. Yeah,
the lottery system would be a good thing, because for instance, all this money that is going away every week for the lottery is going to stay right here. And then when they talk about addiction, I mean, nobody was born with no addiction, neither to smoke, nor to drink rum or anything like that. So anytime a man have an addiction, I think he put that on himself. Because if you didn't born smoking, why is it you can't stop smoking? If you didn't stop and born drinking, why you can't stop drinking? I drink too sometimes. When I drink 2 or 3 beers, I say, well, that's enough, and I go home. So why should you continue drinking until you get addicted to it? So just as the lottery, you feel like buying the lottery, you buy. You don't feel like you don't buy it. I mean, I can't leave my house empty without food and take the money and buy lottery. I can't eat the lottery. But at the same time, if I buy the lottery, there's a possibility of I get the big money. So So I think that will be a good thing.
Yep.
Thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much.
And it's not as harmful as drinking.
Okay, this question is for you, Ms. Letsum and Mr. Jabri. As it relates to young people, given the social ills that currently exist in the Virgin Islands at this time, such as living above your means, burglary, etc., by implementing a national lottery, what messages do you think will be sent to the young people?
The young people are not supposed to be participating in the lottery. It's supposed to be 20 and up, 18 and up, whatever.
18 and up is young.
Well, I mean, I don't know
18 to 25,
yeah, 21, whatever the age,
21 to
whatever the age
25 to 30.
When you're adult.
It's all young people. So you're saying it's all adults and
yeah, of course, that's a part of it.
When it's
yeah, but the
that's
message, but the message that you're sending though, you're sending a message to the children that you should take a chance. You should gamble and perhaps you will succeed instead of working hard, earning a living. You're sending a message that you. Hold on a minute, please. John Spotlight. You're gambling, and you might hit it big, and your mind is being focused on the quick buck as opposed to a good work ethic.
That's true, but then also parents at the end have to be parents, and they have a responsibility to their kids and teach them the right and the wrong. There's always going to be negatives in the community, and that's where the parents come in, and that's where we have to teach the children the right and wrong.
You're on Spotlight. Go right ahead, please. Thank you for calling Spotlight. You're there.
Hello.
Yes, speak to me.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I speak to lottery. Okay. So you play one ticket from National Lottery. You spend $2 and you play one pallet, two numbers together, and you win. You win $10,000.
My sister, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut you off because we don't have time, and we run out of time, and we really can't understand what you're saying. I'm awfully sorry. I mean no disrespect. But I don't know, maybe if you could get someone who can speak English a little better and call back to help make your point. We really will appreciate it to make your point, but we can't continue not being able to understand you. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I really apologize. I really apologize for that. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. We have 5 minutes left before we go to the break. So I'm gonna give you a chance, both of you a chance to go in this way to make your final points about why we should have a national lotto. Prepare yourself to say why we shouldn't.
Okay, as I said earlier, we should have a national lottery to help with the revenues and to help with the different sections, as I stated, education and different things like that. And for instance, I found out while researching that the Great Wall of China was financed by national lotteries, and that's a good example that if we use national lotteries, it could help with the government revenue. That's what I like to say.
Okay, Mr. Jabri.
Well, like I already said, there's already hundreds of thousands of dollars leaving the country from people who live here, who buy tickets, and the country is simply not utilizing that. Having the BVI's very own national lottery would utilize that money and can put it to good use.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jabri, Mr. Liebert.
Okay, I do understand where my colleagues are coming from. Having a national lottery would indeed help with the revenue and the territory and what's not, but I do not think that as a Christian community, God-fearing community, that we should have it. And to the caller before that stated that it's on the person who tries and gets addicted, the key word he said was try. So why try when you can stay away from it? Okay, that's something to think about.
What about the people?
Okay, now is not the time. Okay. The debate is over. Yes, Mr. Hodge.
Yes, I would say that now is not the time for a national lottery. We should hold off and from starting that system because we still have issues in the BVI that needs to be addressed, and the other danger of having a national lottery would be the crime. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you all of you, Mr. Letson, Mr. Jabri, Mr. Liebert, Mr. Hatch. Thank you for discussion about the National Lotto. The people seem to be quite interested in the National Lotto more than the voucher system. But this is a prelude, because there's a lot going to be coming up in the next few months about horse racing, gambling, lotto. It's going to be a big issue. I think the politicians are going to have their hands full. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. Keep it locked right here in the Spotlight.
This program is sponsored by the law firm of J.S. Archibald & Co. and by the trust company J.S. Archibald Trust Services Limited, both of Roadtown, Tortola, BVI.